Countries have neither friends nor enemies, only interests. There are no good intentions involved, but rather the pursuit of some kind of self-interest in every international agreement. If you understand this, then you might be suspicious about the Asian giant and its expansionist economic policy. By building infrastructure projects in many countries, several of them involved in the famous New Silk Road. For these constructions, millionaire loans are made. Sometimes countries are like people and they get into debt knowing they won't be able to pay, and the banks and China know it. We find ourselves, gentlemen, facing the suspicion of the Chinese debt trap. In today's video, we will ask ourselves 3 questions. 1. How did China come to have such economic power on a global scale? 2. What is the debt and the Chinese trap? 3. Which countries would have fallen into this trap? Are you interested? Go for it. So stay until the end of the video. Parenthesis. As I have been sharing with you in the last videos, I decided to venture into the world of trading to be able to reinvest in the channel. And let me tell you that the results have been more than satisfactory. My great discovery has been Pocket Broker, a platform where trading is so intuitive that even beginners can achieve good returns from the start. Let me explain the basic process in 3 simple steps. First, download the application and complete a quick registration. Second, open your first operation with confidence. 3. Check after a few hours and voila, you will be seeing your first profits, which can be that 100 or even more depending on the market movement. Here I share a tip that has made a difference in my operations. I always analyze the candlestick chart offered by Pocket Broker. When 3 consecutive green candles appear, it is a clear signal of an upward trend, indicating the perfect time to buy. This simple but effective technical analysis has allowed me to make more accurate decisions and significantly increase my earnings. Registration with Pocket Broker is extremely fast, faster than making a post on social media. You can do it with your email or by linking your Google or Facebook accounts in a matter of seconds. But that's not all. As a special gift for my followers, by using the code MAPACs during registration, you will receive a generous bonus on your first deposit, giving you that valuable initial boost. One of the biggest advantages of Pocket Broker is the flexibility to withdraw profits. It offers multiple secure options such as bank transfers, electronic wallets, and cryptocurrencies with fast and hassle-free processing. With 0 withdrawal fees, 24/7 support available, and access to over 130 assets with returns of up to 92%, including Forex, stocks, and cryptocurrencies. This platform has become my ally for generating additional income. What are you waiting for? It's the perfect time to start. Use my code MAPA6 when registering to maximize your opportunities from day 1. The direct link can be found in the description and first comment. Let's get to work and generate this extra income. In 1960 in the United States, a hegemonic power that was on fire, the first functional laser was launched in China. Well, the Great Famine was being experienced under the regime of Mao Zedong, in which, according to the most pessimistic figures, 47 million people died. That is, as if all Argentinians died in just 3 years. This sad event made it clear that less than 70 years ago, China was a very poor country in every sense of the word. Mao Zedong's great leap forward was as effective for the welfare of the Chinese as the invasion of Ukraine was to prevent NATO from continuing to expand. Mao dies in 1976, and eventually, the key man of the awakening of the Asian giant Deng Xiaoping comes to power. His economic reforms, based on opening up to international trade and promoting foreign investment, were a resounding success. In a few decades, 800 million people were lifted out of poverty. A powerful technological and manufacturing industry was built, and China integrated into the global financial system. Today, the country is the second largest economy in the world and has become a real threat to the economic, political, and military hegemony of the United States. Does Donald Trump's obsession with China know this? China is the second largest economy in the world, the largest exporter, and the second largest importer on the planet. More than 30% of the world's industrial production is carried out in China, which is the main trading partner of more than 120 countries. The aforementioned Belt and Road Initiative is the STAR project, in which, according to the Chinese Communist Party, a new concept for international relations is proposed, based on the idea of negotiating, building, and sharing. It's not that China's main goal is the development of countries by building them roads, ports, and bridges, because it's not any little sister of charity. In addition to promoting trade, from which both benefit, there is a political end behind all this, which is to gain influence in governments by generating debt. Debt is synonymous with dependence, and it's not always bad. In fact, it can help many countries to get ahead, as well as it can sink them. The main suspicions about this are based on the fine print of the contracts, which are never public knowledge and can involve the transfer of territories, goods, or national assets. After all, who the hell reads the fine print? Possibly not even the politicians who sign the contracts. The Chinese debt trap is a concept popularized in 2017 by the Indian scholar Brahma Chalin. However, just as there are several critics of China's economic policy, there are also several studies and experts who question the veracity of the Chinese trap. Prestigious think tanks such as the United Kingdom, its Chatham House, or some World Bank economists point out that there is no systematic evidence that China acts with malicious or predatory intent. And often, debt problems stem from poor local management. But before forming your own opinion, let's look at the most emblematic cases associated with the Chinese debt trap, starting with Sri Lanka. In 2007, it obtained a loan of $361 million from Chinese banks to build the Hambantota port. After its inauguration, the port did not generate the expected income, so Sri Lanka could not meet its financial obligations. To alleviate its situation, the Sri Lanka government signed an agreement with China Merchants Port Holdings, leasing the port for 99 years in exchange for a significant amount. That is, the second largest port in the country is already in Chinese hands, moving us to Pakistan. In 2015, a project known as the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor was initiated, which sought to connect the port of Gwadar with the Chinese region of Xinjiang. This project was valued at more than $60 billion, so it was quite expensive for Pakistan. Today, it is estimated that the billions it owes to China represent a third of its total external debt. Although in this case, there has not been a direct transfer of assets as in Sri Lanka. In 2017, Pakistan granted China Overseas Port Holding partial operational control of the Gwadar port for 40 years. In Southeast Asia, it is estimated that Laos's external debt is 88% of its gross domestic product. Almost half of this debt is with China. The flagship project is the Botham-Vientiane Railway, which connects the Laotian capital with Botham, a border town with China. Much of the project was financed by Chinese companies, and surprised the Laotian government has not been able to honor its debts. In exchange, it allowed a Chinese company to take a majority stake in its network in 2020, National Electric Grid. In 2024, it was reported that Laos was considering swapping its debt for equity in assets with China. which suggests a possible cession of Chinese control in certain strategic areas. In the African continent, we have the case of Zambia. Around a third of its total debt is with Chinese creditors for infrastructure projects, such as the Kof Gord Lower Hydroelectric Plant. In 2018, reports emerged that the state electricity company, SESCO, could be acquired by Chinese entities in exchange, something that was denied by the Zambian government. In Kenya, the Mombasa-Nairobi Railway, which connects the capital with the country's main port, was funded by 90% by the China Export Bank. This financing has skyrocketed Kenya's external debt, and the government has had serious difficulties in meeting the debt payment. Just like with Zambia, reports emerged suggesting that the Mombasa port could have been used as collateral for the Chinese loans, which has been denied by both governments. However, the lack of transparency in the contract terms has fueled speculations and public concerns about the possible loss of strategic assets. After examining these cases, there is no universal truth about the perception of China's intentions. While some analysts assert that China deliberately makes these loans, others argue that there is no evidence of such intentions, and they blame the governments for the poor handling of the war. So everything depends on your perception of the Asian giant. What's yours? Don't forget to leave your comment and subscribe to the channel. Also, I leave in the description my social networks, and in case you want to see the new videos in preview and have a greater intensity interaction with me. Your donations on Patreon, unermanito.net or channel members are welcome. Until next time.